Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Salem Dunk. Um, I'm here to talk to you today about the 2021 NBA draft and all the rookies. And summer league started, so you get to see a bit of them in action. Um, and I'm here to project the future of what I think these rookies is gonna be in like a not a tier list per se, but just I'm gonna walk through like a redraft kind of for what I think they're going to be by like the end of their career. Um, but before I do that, I do want to mention something that just really bothers me. I I hate player comparisons. I just hate them. I don't understand why we're doing it. It's 2021. Can we? What happened to Andrew Wiggins? What happened to Anthony Bennett? What happened to all of them? We put the expectation too high on those motherfuckers. And what we do? We fucking we did it again, man. I don't understand why we're doing that shit. We're doing it again. We're setting these expectations that are just completely unreasonable. Like, why? What's wrong with us, dude? Like, have we not learned? Jesus. All right, but for a specific example as to like what I'm talking about, you could watch. Let's see, I'd say the summer league for about 30-40% of the teams, and you can hear every one of those announcers be like, "This new center guy is gonna be, he's the new Jokic." Like, what do you mean he's the new Jokic? Stop that shit, bro. It's ridiculous. Jokic is about as good as you can ever hope to get in terms of a playmaking passing center with an amazing shot. He doesn't care if it's contested; he'll still sink that shit. He's clutch. He gets triple doubles. He can drop like fucking 30 points a night. Um, so I just don't see where anyone's coming from when they're calling all these new rookies the new Jokic. I don't get it. It's not that easy to replicate, man. Jokic ran, so these guys could walk. You know, they might be like real budget Jokic's or whatever, but and coming from experience as a Rockets fan, I understand where you Nuggets fans are at when you get so frustrated when you read that shit because it's so frustrating. Because let's see, as a Rockets fan, we had Harden, right? And I want to say it's what 2 drafts ago now. R.J. Barrett was drafted, and he was lefty, and he could fucking drive a little bit. His jumper was kind of inconsistent, but everyone's like, he's the next Harden. And I'm like, what? And and it's like every draft, there's a scoring guard that they're like, this guy's the next Harden. I guess you could say Jalen Green is that in this draft or whatever, but either way, it's you're not gonna get what these guys give out of most rookies. You know, like 99% of the time, the comparison's too much of an expectation, and so these guys underperform that expectation, and people are disappointed. And you're setting expectations too high, and you got to give these guys time to develop, or maybe the system they're in isn't great, so they need a new environment, scene change. Um, anyway, that's about it. So now I'm gonna talk about ranking these guys. Um, so first off, this is definitely an overreaction. I'm ranking it off of 1 or 2 summer league games and a little bit of and the March Madness tournament, I guess, for some of these guys. I didn't watch the G League Ignite team. I don't watch much college basketball aside from like the tournament and some UH games because that's my team. I'm a Rockets guy. I'm a Houston guy. And the last point before I start is this isn't where they're going to be at the end of their rookie year. I don't think this is even close to accurate for what I think is going to be their rankings after 1 year. But I think this is going to be my attempt at projecting how they finish their careers. And um, basically, this is how I think the top 30 in this class can end up. I know this class is deep, but I'd say this class is maybe 20 deep. I don't think 30 is correct, but I might be able to cover my bases. And, maybe I got a second round guy up here that ends up being really good. I look like a profit. But yeah, anyway, okay, let's get into it. Sorry, that intro's a little long. The first overall pick in my redraft is going to be Jalen Green. I think he's going to end up better than Kate. And yes, I know it's what, base it off the one summer league game. No, this I genuinely think. I think Jalen Green's a better scorer. His playmaking he needs to work on, but he has shown flashes, I'd say, even in just the first summer league game, but also just watching highlights and shit. You can see he has like potential. He had the no look pass to Shingun, that Shingun blew on a easy layup or whatever. But regardless, his passing needs work compared to Cade, but I think defensive intensity he has higher than Cade. Even though I know Cade has like a bigger build or whatever. Though I guess that was kind of proven to be false, right? They officially like checked his height or whatever. But anyway, Jalen Green's like 6'6" or something, so he's pretty tall. He has a good build for a shooting guard, and he has really good defensive intensity. So if he works on it, he can really he could be like a really good two-way scorer. But I think Jalen Green's probably going to be the best player in this draft. He's going to be a superstar. He's going in the Hall of Fame. I think that's almost clear to me. Like, off rip. Number 2, I got James Bouknight. And I know that's definitely a reach, right? Number 2 obvious should be Cade if it's not number 1 or whatever, right? But I do think James Bouknight is going to be an elite talent in this league. Even if it doesn't happen in Charlotte, but I think it will happen in Charlotte. I think Terry Rozier probably gets like dropped off or something. I don't think they need him, and I think they just, or maybe like he's a bench player now. He's like their sixth man, but got rid of Devontae. James Bouknight can get minutes. I think LaMelo might develop into more of a passing role, which he can already do that, but I think he develops more into a passer. The only thing I worry about is, LaMelo and LiAngelo, they have a lot of scoring at the guard position, and also Terry Rozier, right? And I guess Gordon Hayward, if he plays shooting guard, he can, right? I mean, he usually plays small forward, I think, for them. But anyway, it's going to be a minute crunch there, but I seriously think if LaMelo decides to become a pass-first point guard, which, kind of wastes his shooting talent, but I think it's best for this team because I don't think James Bouknight's that great at creating for his teammates. I think he wants to either create for himself or, have someone create for him, which you didn't get to see that at UConn, don't get me wrong. But so yeah, I think Bouknight, number 2. And I'm going to say, I think, no, I was going to say I think he wins Rookie of the Year, but I think that does go to Jalen Green. He has opportunity to do something great in Charlotte, man. That's all I'm going to say. I really do like him there. I think Charlotte really, really won this draft. I think so did Houston, but I think Charlotte did an amazing job. Anyway, okay, number 3, I got Cade. It's a little low, but I think we're setting the expectation too high for him. I think Detroit, I don't want to say they don't have, guys to pass to or anything, because, I mean, they were better than us last season, right? So I just don't think Cade's going to really play make much there. I think they're just going to say, Cade, create for yourself. The rest of y'all figure it out. I mean, shit. I wouldn't want to play make for anyone on that team besides Jeremy Grant, right? And I guess they got, Kelly Olynyk now, so it's not bad. I think they got Kelly Olynyk. I could be wrong. I think they did. Anyway, and this isn't just off 1 year, too. I think Cade's going to leave Detroit, as much as that would anger Detroit fans. I don't think you're not going to get, a good package for him. I think you probably will, but I don't think he wants to be in Detroit, man. I really don't. I guess he played in Oklahoma, so, anything. Oklahoma State, but, I meant Oklahoma as in, the state. That fucking shithole. So, maybe he does like Detroit in comparison. Number 4, I got Scotty Barnes. I think people are sleeping on Scotty. I think he might really, and I know that's where he was drafted, right? I'm pretty sure he was drafted number 4 after Jalen. Cade, Jalen, Mobley, then Scotty. That's how it went, right? Yeah. So people are sleeping, and I know I have him in the exact same position he got drafted in, but I have him over Evan Mobley. I have him over Jalen Suggs. Um, I think he ends up being the better prospect. I think Mobley has his minutes taken away by Jared Allen. So I mean, and I wouldn't want to run Mobley Allen, but I guess you could. I just don't think it looks good for floor spacing at all, especially if you get rid of Colin Sexton too. So just not a good look there. But I guess they had to draft for best available, right? So they drafted Mobley, or best projected. It's not best available. It's just what they think would make them look the best in the public eye. Because I wouldn't mind them taking a risk there or something. But anyway, and then Jalen Suggs, he's going to Orlando, and trust me, I am not very high on Orlando's rookie development based off of their past 4 or 5 drafts. They have Mo Bamba. You have just a bunch of not great players drafted there. Aaron Gordon had real fucking superstar potential. He's kind of just a mid starter now. But, anyway. That's number 4. I Scotty Barnes. Number 5, I got Evan Mobley. I think, despite the fact he's in Cleveland, I think he does end up doing something with his career, right? Maybe not in Cleveland, but he's probably going to be one of the best bigs in the league in about 5, 6, maybe a little more than 6 years. But point being, in his prime, I think he's going to be the best top 3 big in the league. With some of the bigs in the next draft coming in, it's pretty impressive regardless. Even if he's not number 1, is what I'm trying to say. After Evan Mobley, this one's a reach, but I'm going to go Trey Murphy III. And I know his summer league game just finished, right? So he had a really good summer league game. This isn't based off of that. I really liked him coming into the draft as a great 3-and-D guy. I think he's going to thrive in New Orleans with... I wish they had Lonzo for him, man, but I guess Devontae's cool too. I just don't know who's going to be their playmaker. I don't know if they're going to do like Brandon Ingram, kind of just runs with the ball, like a point forward type shit, or am I forgetting someone? I don't know. They got rid of Eric Bledsoe and Lonzo, so I don't know who's playmaking there. It's kind of weird, but if they had Lonzo, I think he genuinely have like a breakout rookie year. But regardless, 3-and-D players always fit in the league. I think he'll be one of the best in due time when he becomes when he comes in his prime and shit, But even his rookie year, I expect him to have a great rookie year. Okay, next up I have Kai Jones from Texas. He went to Charlotte. I think he's probably going to end up looking like the best big this year. He's going to look better than Mobley, I think. And I think he's going to look better than Shingun and basically all the other bigs that were drafted this year. Which, not that many, to be fair. But I do think he's going to end up being nice in Charlotte. He has great athleticism, fits in great with the fast-paced Charlotte offense, and he's a big they really needed. He's going to get a bunch of playing time because I'm not playing Cody Zeller, Bismack Biyombo, or whatever. I don't. I think they got new centers in free agency, but either way, man, I think you build with this guy. You got Miles Bridges, you got LaMelo, LiAngelo, James Bouknight, Kai Jones. You got a good young core you build with these guys. I think this is a sneaky dynasty in the making, bro. Maybe they're not a dynasty, but I definitely think this team, if you build on it, is good enough to win a chip. So hopefully you don't do anything stupid, and I hope it works out. Next up, I got Davion Mitchell, and I know I hate the Sacramento Kings drafted him. I hate it because either one, it's going to stunt his growth, or 2, he's just not going to get PT, and it's going to look really bad, right? I mean, what is he going to play off the bench? He's going to be their starting shooting guard, or point guard, and then De'Aaron at the shooting guard, or I just don't like it. But I really do love his defense, man. He's just oh my, what he did to James Bouknight today was insane. And he was doing it at Baylor because I watched the Final Four game, Baylor versus Houston, and we were just getting fucking locked up, man. We couldn't do shit. And I think part of that's because our offense is really fraudulent, and we didn't have anyone besides Quentin Grimes. And as you're going to see, I'm not high on Quentin Grimes. So, but regardless, I do think if Davion leaves the Kings, I think he'll have a great career, man. And not a lot of teams are always looking for starting point guards, so maybe it'll be hard to find a place for him to go. But he's going to have high value. He's a great defensive guy. He can run the point. I think he does a lot of things well. It's just I don't like the fit, and that's why I think I put him a little lower because I think it'll maybe take him some time to get out of Sacramento. They're probably not going to want to trade him, kind of like what they're doing to Buddy Hield right now, unless they get a really good package. Number 9, I got Şengün. This might be a little homer bias. I'm not going to lie. His first summer league game wasn't amazing. His finishing was pretty lackluster, but he did grab a bunch of boards, and his free throw percentage looked pretty good, which are two things you really want to see from a big. They got to crash the glass, and preferably you don't want him to leave a lot of points on the line. He did both of those things. I think his finishing needs work. I compare a lot of bigs that can't really finish down low or like handle the ball down low, struggle to do anything down low. It always makes me remember Isaiah Hartenstein in Houston. And I'm not saying if he ends up being Isaiah Hartenstein, he's not on this list, because I think this draft has way too many players that are going to end up being a lot more than him. And that's G League MVP Isaiah Hartenstein. So that's no disrespect, but he's definitely not going to be like that. And I know I said I'm not going to compare people to players, but that's a pretty low. That's like a floor. If that's like worst case scenario, even then I think it's still lower than what he's actually going to end up being. But Şengün's nice. He won the MVP in the Turkish league, I'm pretty sure. He's nice, and just because he had a bad first summer league game, I don't want this to affect his perceived rating in my mind like too much. He's going to be the third best center in this draft, I think, behind Kai Jones inevitably, and I think that's fine. I rated him number 9 overall. We drafted him at 16. I think we got good value there. Okay, anyway. Number 10, I got Tre Mann. And this one might seem a little unbased, or like conjecture, because I don't think he had a great summer league game, if I remember it correctly. And OKC has a lot of guards, got Shea. They got, what's his face? Dort. They got, they got so many guys. They drafted Giddey, who's going to play, I think, maybe small forward actually, so maybe not guard, but he might get like some shooting guard minutes. They have a lot of young guys. I don't know how they're going to distribute their minutes, and it could end up being that Tre Mann doesn't really get a lot of. Well, they did draft him at like 17 or 18 or whatever, so I don't think they're just going to leave him to rot on the bench, but I really do think Tre Mann had shown a lot of potential in Florida, and I'm just hoping they give him the chance to shine, because I think he can. Number 11, the 11th best player in this draft, in my opinion, is a second-round pick. I'm going Miles McBride, man. I love Miles McBride. I think he's something special. And I think New York got a steal on him, bro. That was insane that he fell that far, bro. I just don't get it. I don't get how Quentin Grimes was drafted over him. I don't get how half the guys that were drafted ahead of him were drafted ahead. Chris Duarte sucks, man. Okay. Anyway, that's just, that's a personal belief. He could come out there and be great because he's older, and, I just don't like him. But anyway, I got Miles McBride, 11. He has great defensive intensity. His offense is there. It's there to match. You don't have to wait for his offense to develop. Oh, and you're going to see I don't like projects either. I really don't. Projects aren't my thing. And I know most of the good players in the league are projects. Like Giannis was a project. And could you call Jokic a project? I would call Jokic a project, right? Either way, I don't think I don't think there's any project in this draft that stands out too high except Kuminga, but I don't even think he's going to be that great. We'll see though, because there's always all the failed projects. You remember the good ones, but you know, I think Rudy Gobert was you could consider a project. He was maybe not a project, but he was like a sleeper pick, right? Anyway, Miles McBride, I love him. He's not a project. His offense and his defense intensity's there. Everything's great. I think he could have easily been a lottery pick, but I think a lot of teams actually did terribly in this draft, despite what the common consensus is that everyone drafted pretty well. All right, number 12, I got Bones Highland. I think I just love his game, man. This might be a little biased. I really love his game. His offensive game is there, and I think Denver's the right place to be. They always get hidden gems and make them, develop better. You got Bol, you got Michael Porter Jr., you got was Jamal Murray a hidden gem? I don't remember where he was drafted exactly, but I think they're really good at developing young talent, and I like the fit a lot, man. All right, number 13, I got Jared Butler. He's not going to be as good as Davion, in my opinion. I think Davion was definitely the right pick over him, but I still think he has a lot of potential to, be something. I don't like him in Utah because I don't think he's going to get a lot of PT, but I like what he does I like his fit with the team. I just don't think he's going to get playing time because they're trying to contend. They're trying to please Donovan Mitchell and, keep the core together with Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert. They want Bogdanovich and all the guys to stay. They're trying to keep them there. So I don't think you give a rookie that much playing time, but end of his career, I think he does end up being something pretty good. At least like a starter level player, I'd say. Next, I got Jaden Springer. I believe he was drafted by the Sixers. To me, I think he's like a Tyrese Maxey kind of, or like a Lou Williams type thing. I think he's going to be a great bench scorer for a team, and I don't think he's going to win repeated six-man of the years or anything, but I do think he's going to be a great bench scorer. I think he'll be like a plug, a spark plug, like an offensive, just like an offensive plug and play. He can fit in with any lineup. I think he needs to work on his threes a little more. He's kind of hesitant to shoot them, but his mid-range game, his drive game, I just like it all. And I know he shot a good percentage in college on threes, but he wasn't shooting that many of them, which is the thing. You prefer your guard to be like a high-volume three-point shooter rather than like a high-volume mid-range scorer, but unless that guard's like Chris Paul or anything, good mid-range shooters are always better than average or like below average three-point shooters. Anyway, next I got Josh Christopher at number 16. I think he's a sleeper pick, man. He has a lot of the scoring potential that some of the top guys in this draft had. I don't know what happened to his stock because I think he was pretty high up in high school or something. I don't remember. Either way, I do think his maybe got injured or something. Either way, his scoring ability is up there with the best, man. He has really, really sneaky potential. And I guess 16 is kind of low for what I think he's going to be, but this is just in case, maybe it doesn't pan out. Maybe it's like in the middle. I think maybe his potential pans out. He could be like a top 10 guy. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe like around 25, 20. So maybe just stick him in the middle. That's not exactly what I did, but looking back on it, I guess it makes a little bit of sense. Finally, number 17, Jalen Suggs. I hate Jalen Suggs' game, man. I don't know. There was talk about him winning you a drill, or, he worked out in Toronto and his shot wasn't falling and he got angry, and then he came back the next day and his shot still wasn't falling, and just, I don't know. I think there's serious bust potential with Jalen Suggs, especially because he went to Orlando, and I think Orlando just can't develop good talent. was Michael Carter Williams. I'm pretty sure it was. No, that was in Philly, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I just, I just don't get. I don't like Jalen Suggs' game, bro. And prove me wrong. I'd love to be proven wrong. I really would. But if Jaden Springer's like an off the bench guy, I genuinely think Jalen Suggs is like a George Hill type shit, bro. He's not great. And I'm not talking like prime George. I'm talking about like washed George Hill. He comes off your bench, he can run the point, but you'd almost just rather not. you know, you have a bench PG that could do it better. In hindsight, maybe I should have put Sharif over him. Where did I put Sharif on this list? Below him. Okay, it's fine. I'd probably put Sharif over him in hindsight, but maybe that's a little bogus. I mean, the big thing on Sharif's game is that he's short, right? I just don't like that because I mean, come on, Steph Curry was seen as too short, and his game worked out just fine. Trae Young too short, his game worked out just fine, and he got drafted to Atlanta, a team that you know knows how to work with the short guy. I mean, that's how Trae Young got his shit going, bro. They developed him pretty well. Came in kind of looking ready. Well, I wouldn't say that. First half of his rookie year was kind of rough, but I don't know if it was them developing him well or maybe he just got into a rhythm. Whatever it is, I mean, they've got a reputation with shorter guards. I think he could fit, he could work as their off the bench creator. Something they really needed because when Trae Young sat, their team was pretty bad. But I like him. All right. Anyway, he's all the way down at in the 20s, so I don't know why I talked about him there. But 18, I got Usman Garuba. His defense is elite, man. I love his defense, and you can see in the I think he played in Spain, right? Um, you could see it during the Olympics a little bit, man. He wasn't getting a lot of playing time, but the stuff he was doing on defense was amazing. I know Luka crossed his ass up too, so that didn't look great for him, but he can read the passing lanes really well. He's a great one-on-one lockdown kind of guy. He can defend the rim pretty well. Like he's as versatile gets. So if you're running like a switch only defense where you just switch everything on a screen, I think he's a great fit. And I have him as the worst rookie the Rockets draft. But even then, I think he's still, I have him at 18, which is still higher than where they got him, or yeah, like lower than where they got him, I guess. So they Rockets really did get a steal in all their picks, in my opinion. This could just be bias, and I could end up being completely wrong, but I love Usman's game, and a lot of other fans do too. So it's not like this is just me or anything. His offensive game needs work. That's kind of why I'm kind of low on him. If his offensive game looked better, I'd probably have him top 10, say, over Trey Mann, maybe. But, yeah, his offensive game needs work. Gets that to do, like, if he becomes, I'd say, like, just like offensively, like almost like a Jay Sean Tate, just make the shots when he open, and then he can cut and like create for himself by cutting. I think that's all they need really. I think make open threes and cut, and just keep working on that defense. 19, I got Josh Giddey. I like Josh Giddey. I just think it was a reach. I really do. I think he was projected to go around like late lottery, maybe like 10 or so, maybe 11, somewhere around there. Maybe that's not right, but either way, I think the Thunder reached. I think they have a lot of young players on that team that want the ball to prove themselves to get a contract. Maybe that ends up working against him, but came out had a pretty good summer league game, so I like him. This might be a little low, but I think it's my opinion. It's not going to change or anything. Well, it's my opinion. Y'all can't, y'all can't hit a man for his opinion, but yeah, I mean, y'all still find a way. 20, I got Moses Moody, and I think this might be a little low, or might be a little high for Moody. I think he might belong more in the 15s. But again, I think he's more of a project than the average rookie coming in. I think he does need a little bit of work on his game. I love his defensive intensity. I think he can really run it with that Warriors team. I think he fits in more than Kuminga, in my opinion. I think he's going to be the better fit, but I think they're going to choose to play Kuminga over him because they picked him earlier, right? So it's kind of just like I wouldn't say it's hedging your bets, but no, because that'd be playing Moses over Kuminga. I'd say it's more like once you do something, you have to like a full commit to it. There's a term for it. I think it's like a gambler's term or something. But anyway, y'all know what I'm saying. They're gonna play Kuminga more because he got picked higher. It's like a PR move almost. But I think Moody will be the better player on that Warriors starting five. If they end up starting, that is. I don't know what they're gonna do with that. Maybe they don't. I almost would over Wiggins or whatever, but actually they got rid of Oubre too. So are they gonna run Draymond at the 5? I don't know. I like that more than any of their other center options, but what do I know? Okay. Moses Moody done. 21, I got Cam Thomas, and I think a lot of his value will be earlier on in his career, I think. He's a great scorer, but I think he's going to work in Brooklyn, man. I think he really is. I think he'll be great off the bench with James Harden creating for him, or if he creates off the bench or whatever it is. I really, I mean, it'll probably just end up being James Harden creating for him, and he'll be like a secondary creator. But I think they got a steal on him. And I mean, I only have it like 8 picks, or what is it, 6 picks higher than where they picked him at. But I really do like his creation and his offensive game. He was the best scorer in the draft at one point in like college, but the fact that he fell that low is insane to me. I think he should have been way higher. And this is me saying I think they should have picked him higher than where I have him, but I'm also kind of like putting it in the middle because I don't want to go too extreme on one side or the other. 22, I got Kuminga. He's a project for sure, and I don't see it working out in Golden State. I think you can maybe get him somewhere else to play. He can develop better, but from what I'm seeing, Golden State's really hesitant to trade their rookies. With Wiseman being the prime example there, and they didn't do anything in this draft to try to get like another player like Beal or whatever it is. So if they're going to be hesitant to trade him, I think it's going to take him way too long to develop into anything. Anything great, that is. And I think by the time he does, he might already be like past his prime. He'll be like maybe 29, 30-ish before he becomes anything amazing. If he even does reach his potential, because I think playing alongside Golden State, like Steph and Clay and Golden State, might hinder him. All right, 23, I got Primo. I think this is more where people thought he would be drafted. I'm not low on him because I think this is where he should be, but I think San Antonio reached for him, and that's fine. You can go for a reach. Phoenix did it. It worked out. I like trading down, but apparently there's rumors that teams in like the 16, 15, 16 area would try to take him. So if you have to, you have to, I guess. And he looks like a great offensive stud so far for the Spurs. He looks amazing. So maybe it works out. Who knows? All right, let's get through these last guys here, because at this point, past Josh Primo, I don't think the rest of these guys really amount to much. But actually, there's one more guy here I think that does find his way. But right, anyway, 24, I got JRE, drafted by the Thunder. His defense is amazing, man. He has like a gravity to him where anything near him, he kind of like sucks up. You know, he like locks him down, he clamps him. And I don't know. I think It's another guy on the Thunder that has amazing defense. Doesn't really have an offensive game. He does, but it's not great. Works on it, much like Garuba. He works on it. He's there, man. You know, but he's been playing ball a lot of his life. So is Garuba. And if it hasn't come yet, it's gonna be slow, to say the least, developing that game. And don't expect it. Don't put those expectations on yourself. You're gonna be disappointed probably. A lot of guards come in that can play pretty good defense, but just don't have a shot. So they don't have a space, like they don't have a place in the league. They don't have a passing game. They don't have a shot, but they can clamp. Just you don't really. If you're a foot taller and you can play center, that'd be great because that's all those centers do. Rudy Gobert claim, but he doesn't really have a shot. He doesn't have passing. But unlucky, your genetics didn't give you that. 25, I got Sharif Cooper, and this is the one I think that does amount to become something. And I think I did put him too low on this list looking back on it. I probably would put him over Jalen Suggs, which is crazy. Jalen Suggs was top 5. Sharif was 40 something, but this might just be like to look good because there's always a second round pick that ends up becoming more than they're projected. So if I have them on my list here, I'm doing good because this is just the top 30, right? So this would be first round players, and this is about like 20 picks higher than where he was drafted. So if I get this right, I look pretty good. I will say I do think he should be around like 17 would be where I'd put him, maybe 16. Anyway, though, I think it was really funny when he tweeted, "Where do y'all think I'm getting drafted?" I told he didn't get drafted till like the 50s. I was actually thinking about replying to that tweet like in the second round, bitch, but I didn't do it to him, bro. It would have been too funny though. So yeah. Anyway, I do think he's gonna be a good bench creator, and I talked about him when I talked about Jalen Suggs. So if you want to hear more, just go then. I'm gonna keep going because I gotta wrap this up. 26, I got Jericho Sims for New York. He looked great in his first summer league game. He's kind of got the boom in his dunks, and he's got a lot of athleticism. I told you behind like Josh Primo, I don't think these players are gonna mean that much. I think 23 is plenty in terms of how many players I think are going to be okay to amazing in this draft. I think 23 is a lot. But he was picked 58th, so even if he doesn't end up being okay and he's just like a mediocre level player, it's still pretty good for picking 58. And I do like his game a lot. I really am a fan of Jericho Sims, so I hope he works out for y'all. And as you can see, I have him past what's his face, Quentin Grimes. I haven't passed, I think, everyone else the Knicks drafted. Might be wrong about that. Anyway, 27, I got Keon Johnson, and this is pretty low for Keon, I admittedly, but I think a lot of his game is his athleticism, much like Jericho Sims, except Sims is a big and he's more of like a guard. So athletic guards are great, like Russ and Ja and stuff like that, but you do have to realize that if you're relying on your athleticism, you don't have a shot, you don't have a place in the league, really. It's the same reason why, that and athletic players also tend to get injured more often, right? Because you're relying on your jump and your burst and your speed and stuff like that. And I don't know. I'm not saying I think he's going to get injured a lot or be like an injury-ridden player. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of athletic players. I do like Ja. That's the one exception, I guess. But I'm not a big Russ guy. I'm not a big. There's another athleticism guard. I'm trying to think. Maybe like De'Aaron Fox. He's more of a speed guy. I guess that counts as athleticism, right? I'm not a big fan of guys like that, but I can see it working. I think I have a lot of guys over him that I think have a higher chance of succeeding. 28, I have Isaiah Todd. I think, he'll be a solid bench guy. I don't think he'll be great. He's in Milwaukee, right? So, solid bench guy is pretty good for him. It's kind of all they really need in the draft is more bench talent. And I think you're pretty happy with Isaiah Todd as a bench guy. 29's Zaire Williams, Memphis Grizzlies pick. I am not high on this guy at all. And call me crazy, man, but I don't like trading up to pick him and then picking him way higher than he should have been picked anyway, man. Like, it's crazy. Um, I think the Pacers had a terrible draft. I think the Spurs overextended for their pick, and I think the Grizzlies fucking ran in this draft as well. And then the surprise pick, I think, is also Orlando. Gotta fuck this draft too. As you can tell by my number 30, Franz Wagner, or however you say that, Wagner. Either way, I don't like him. I think he has a lot of similarities to his brother's game, man. And his brother isn't great. I'll tell you that much. I just don't like it, man. I don't like it at all. Especially not in the lottery, man. That is ridiculous. I know he was projected to go lottery, right? Or he was projected to go around where he went. So it's not like they reached or anything. I don't see it. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just bias because I don't like how his brother plays at all. I don't like his brother's game even remotely, and it's just rubbing off on him. But I don't know. I'm not a big fan of this for Orlando at all. I think they're going to be with probably the worst team in the league next year. And I don't think it's going to be particularly close either. Yeah, I'm just not a fan of what they did with this draft. And I know Toronto dropped on Jalen, so you kind of had to pick him up. But I don't know. I'm almost tempted to say Davion would have just been the better pick there for them. I don't know. Call me crazy if you want, but that's my top 30. It's been 42 minutes. I'm going to call it here. Thank y'all for watching. It's been Salem Dunk. Don't flame me too hard if this doesn't pan out. It's pretty risky / bold to go out here and say my top 30 guys are this and put like 10 second rounders or whatever. I don't think it was 10. I think it was maybe like 5 or 6. And then a bunch of like borderline second round guys. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Peace.